Hey, it's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Tammy Wolfe, and we're going to be talking about all things Sanger. And if you don't know about Sanger, stay tuned, pay attention. We got some interesting and good things talking about. Welcome to the show, Tammy.
Thank you so much.
And you are with the Sanger Chamber of Commerce, right?
I am.
And Sanger, tell me, what is Sanger known as?
We are the nation's Christmas tree city.
You are the nation's Christmas tree city.
Yeah, and we didn't just make that up.
Are you sure?
We're proclamated by President Calvin Coolidge.
No kidding.
No kidding.
President Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
Since, that's got to be a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, 1926.
1926. That's a long time.
A long time.
How many Christmas trees have you gone through?
just one.
Just one. And you know what? I know a couple years ago, because of the fires that we've had as a result of the drought, people were worried that we were going to lose that nation's Christmas tree.
Yes, we had phone calls, and if I can tell you a funny story,
tell me.
Because we had so much fire, and we had lost one of our trees had fallen down up at Kings Canyon. One of our cops came in, and he's a prankster. He comes in and he has tears in his eyes, and he says, "Tammy, you're not going to believe this." And I said, "What?" He says, "The General Grant has fallen over."
Uh-oh. Now, for people that don't know, it is the General Grant tree that is the nation's Christmas tree.
Yes.
And it's awesome. It's huge. I've actually seen it.
Yes, it's the second largest tree in the world. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to tell you that I actually touched it, because you're not supposed to.
That's true.
It was many years ago. I was little. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's
right?
okay. It's all right. We won't arrest you.
Yeah. And it was only about this big. No.
So you're about 2,800?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, good.
About 2,800 years old. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And it still is. It's the nation's Christmas tree. It did survive the fire.
Yes.
And you have a ceremony each year there. It's not like a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Tell me about that ceremony.
Oh, it's hard for me to talk about that ceremony without crying, without tears coming to my eyes, because we bring up tour buses up to the General Grant, and we have it's a kickoff to the Christmas season.
Right.
But we honor our nation's fallen, and Dwight D. Eisenhower actually had dedicated the General Grant as the only living shrine in the world to our nation's fallen. And so we also commemorate our wonderful veterans and the ones we've lost.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Really is.
It is.
But Sanger has more things going on than just being the home of the General Grant, the gateway to go up there. It's really kind of a neat little community there, isn't it?
It is, and we're growing. That's what we do. The Sanger Chamber of Commerce promotes Sanger, and that's why I'm here, and I'm thankful for the invitation. But no, we've got a lot of the Sanger Chamber puts on a lot of events, but mostly what we do is everything that we do is to promote Sanger. Yeah. So the next thing that we have, and I want you to tell the story about Cinco De Mayo, because we have Cinco De Mayo on Cinco De Cuatro.
Okay.
And so would you tell about the history?
I was talking to you before we went on camera. The celebration of Cinco de Mayo for the Mexican government, the nation of Mexico, they celebrate as the French were coming up from, I think it might have been like Acapulco, but it was somewhere on the coast, and they were coming up with the intention of basically overrunning Mexico City. There was a rather large group, I don't remember the numbers, but there was a rather large group within the French army, and they were met by a very small group of Mexicans, nationals, that held them and fought them off, essentially, and forced them to go back. And so it wasn't until a year later when the French came up and overtook. But that small group of individuals, they held the French there, they prevailed, and that's how Mexico celebrates Cinco de Mayo. But one of the things that historians say about the significance of that for the United States is that France, during our Civil War, was very interested in supporting the Confederacy. The prevailing thought is, had the French been able to get through and up and overtake and get to Mexico City, that they would have, from the south, sent up supplies to the Confederate Army. If that happened, historians believe that there was a very good possibility that the North could have lost the war. Wow. So Cinco de Mayo, not only is it important for Mexico, but a lot of Americans don't understand how important it was for our nation too. And so, that we celebrate it, not only for the Hispanic population that lives here, but we can celebrate that for the Americans,
Yes.
that we were able to, do what we did. And it was all a result of a small group of men taking a stand to, for their country. So that's kind of awesome.
It's
That's
amazing. I
Cinco
love
de Mayo.
it.
Yeah. So we got Cinco de Mayo and Cinco de Cuatro.
Yes,
Okay.
on Cinco de Cuatro, and it's from 5 to 9, downtown Sanger, 7th and N Street. We have a beautiful downtown, a very community, family-oriented. We're very, we're going to, I heard before, vendors. We definitely have lots of food. We're thinking about a chili cook-off. And so we've just got lots of things planned, and we usually... we kind of shoot from the hip sometimes and come up with some amazing ideas that people are surprised about. So, so come on out. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds like it. And what's this other thing we got down here?
Oh,
What's this?
we have the Fruit Trail Bus, which is the second thing. That's June 8th.
Okay.
And one of the, I don't know if everybody knows, but we have a Fresno County Fruit Trail.
Yeah.
And the Fresno County Fruit Trail is world renowned.
Yeah.
And it supplies probably, I'm not going to give a percentage because I'd probably be wrong, but the majority of the produce that goes to the world is from the Central Valley.
Out of that one orange tree down. No.
Yeah.
No, all joking aside, I have heard that the Central Valley of California, of which Fresno County is a major part of, and including Sanger, we're like the major producer of produce and fruit.
Yes.
Like 1/8 of the world's supply. So it's a horrendous amount.
It's huge.
And it comes right here. And the fruit trail, again, that's June what?
June 8th, because we actually have a guided tour that we put you on a beautiful bus.
Yeah.
And we take you around, and not only do we show you the fruit trail, you get to taste the fresh fruit just right off the tree.
You stole my heart.
Yes.
You get off the trees?
Right off the trees.
That one orange tree? I can,
Yeah. Or peach tree,
We have an incredible array of different types of fruits.
Yes.
And various other things that we grow here, and that's awesome. And at that time of the year, things are very pretty.
Yes.
It's got a lot of good stuff going on. June 8th. And how do I find out about that if I'm interested in maybe attending that?
Well, sanger.org is our website,
Okay.
and you can definitely click on that. But you can also call us at 559-875-4575. But if you're late night perusers and want to find out information, sanger.org is probably your best bet. And then also Facebook.
I was going to say.
I mean, we constantly post things on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
And so I just look up Sanger on Facebook.
Sanger Chamber.
Sanger Chamber. Awesome. And, we got a lot of great stuff. And so, just don't rely on what you see today. What you see today is very important, no doubt. But Sanger's got a lot of stuff going on throughout the year. Keep in touch with them. If they are the gateway to Sequoia and Kings Canyon. And, everybody talks about Sequoia National Park, and it's great, and no doubt about it. But Kings Canyon is also, and they're side to side, right up, and there's like, what is it, Boyden's Cave up there in Kings Canyon, which is as a kid, I went through that cave, and you get tours. You go way back, and they take you way back in there, and then they turn the lights out, and it's probably the blackest thing they tell you. It's really, because there is nothing. There's no light anywhere. I took my kids there, and my son was sitting next to me. When they did that, literally, he jumped into my lap because it is so dark. But that's just one thing they got going on there. There's the Kings River that you can enjoy during the summertime as long as you're careful. You need to pay attention to safety issues, but you can travel back and forth between the parks. You can see the big trees, and it's just a great place for families.
Yeah, and we have Colorado. They talk about their tours that you can go down in rafts and everything else. We have that right there. We have Kings River Expeditions.
That's right.
And we have Zephyr Expeditions. Some of them are overnight trips, or you can only do daily. Call the Chamber. We have every connection that you could possibly want for any tourism item that you
And boy, you got a bunch.
We do.
All
we
right.
do. We've got it, and we love it.
There you go. Well, Tammy, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, about Sanger and the things that Sanger has going on. It is the home of our nation's Christmas tree. And that's for sure and for real. And if you haven't ever seen a giant sequoia tree up close, you need to do that at least once in your life.
Right.
They're almost as old as your grandparents, and I mean they're like 2,800 years old. That's old. Almost. No, I'm not. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. But I won't say I saw it when it was just a twig. But anyway, go see them. Sanger, Chamber of Commerce. They're going to give you all sorts of good information. I'll see you when we come back.